Auditors do not need poetry about AI, they need clear scope, controls, evidence, and known limitations. This AIQualtest episode gives product, engineering, risk, and quality teams a practical, vendor-neutral playbook for AI Docs Auditors 1 in 2026. Use a simple operating loop: scope, controls, evidence, and limits. That loop keeps conversations concrete when stakeholders disagree about quality or risk. Why this matters: good documentation accelerates assurance and onboarding. Poor docs create finding factories. Practical templates beat lengthy unread PDFs. Enterprises shipping AI into banking, insurance, healthcare, and digital operations cannot rely on hallway demos. Buyers, auditors, and internal second-line risk partners ask for repeatable methods, version artifacts, and clear ownership. If you cannot explain how you tested and what evidence you keep, you do not have AI quality, you have optimism. Core concepts come next. Do not memorize jargon, operationalize each idea into cases, metrics, and gates. Concept 1: Intended use. State what the system is for and explicitly what it is not for. Scope controls risk. In practice, treat this as a measurable property, define what good looks like, attach evidence, and track it across model, prompt, data, and tooling changes. Concept 2: System description. Describe models, tools, data sources, and human roles at a usable level of detail. In practice, treat this as a measurable property, define what good looks like, attach evidence, and track it across model, prompt, data, and tooling changes. Concept 3: Control narrative. Explain how testing, gating, and monitoring work. Link to living artifacts. In practice, treat this as a measurable property, define what good looks like, attach evidence, and track it across model, prompt, data, and tooling changes. Concept 4: Limitations. Document known failure modes and residual risks honestly. Overclaiming invites findings. In practice, treat this as a measurable property, define what good looks like, attach evidence, and track it across model, prompt, data, and tooling changes. Concept 5: Change history. Record material changes and reassurance activities. Continuity matters. In practice, treat this as a measurable property, define what good looks like, attach evidence, and track it across model, prompt, data, and tooling changes. Concept 6: Audience fit. Maintain short exec views and deeper technical annexes. One blob serves no one. In practice, treat this as a measurable property, define what good looks like, attach evidence, and track it across model, prompt, data, and tooling changes. Here is a real-world pattern. Setting: Insurance carrier documenting and underwriting assist LLM for internal model risk review. Early docs were marketing heavy and thin on limitations. Reviewers rejected them. A rewritten pack with intended use, control narrative, and residual risk tables passed with minor notes. New joiners also ramped faster using the same docs. Notice the pattern: define scope, run controlled tests, capture evidence, decide with named owners, and feed failures back into the next cycle. That is how AI quality becomes a system property, not a slide. Common mistakes slow mature programs. Mistake 1: Writing aspirational brochures instead of control narratives. Teams that skip this create silent risk that surfaces in production or audits. Mistake 2: Omitting out-of-scope and limitations sections. Teams that skip this create silent risk that surfaces in production or audits. Mistake 3: Failing to link docs to current eval and monitoring artifacts. Teams that skip this create silent risk that surfaces in production or audits. Mistake 4: Never updating docs after material system changes. Teams that skip this create silent risk that surfaces in production or audits. The antidote is discipline: small goal sets, explicit thresholds, change control, and monitoring that connects production incidents back to evaluation suites. Key takeaways for your team. Takeaway 1: Document intended use, system shape, controls, and limits. Takeaway 2: Link to living evidence, do not duplicate everything. Takeaway 3: Keep change history current. Takeaway 4: Serve both executive and technical audiences. Write these into your team wiki and release checklist so they survive staffing changes. Your next steps this week: fill a one-page intended use and limitations sheet for your primary AI system. Then, add links from that sheet to current scorecards and monitoring dashboards. Keep the artifacts, prompts, datasets, scores, approvals so you can defend the decision later. Where this fits the AIQualtest method, learn the foundations with AIVELabs, practice with hands-on cases, and validate with governed evaluation evidence. Visit AIQualtest.com and learn.aiqualtest.com. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for weekly AI quality, evaluation, and governance episodes. Additional depth for practitioners. Treat AI docs auditors want as a controlled experiment. Version the inputs, freeze the environment where possible, record who approved exceptions, and rerun after every material change, model upgrade, prompt edit, retrieval index refresh, or tool permission change. Pair quality metrics with latency, cost, and safety signals so trade-offs are visible to product owners. When results regress, open an incident-style review even if the feature still looks fine in a demo. Governed teams prefer boring, evidence-backed releases over surprising wins that cannot be reproduced.